What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to tonight's late night agenda. I'm your host Craig, and as always, this is your show, ladies and gentlemen. Anything that you want to talk about from a Liverpool perspective, lash it into the live chat there and we'll get through it. This is also going to act as my Wolves preview video as well, so I'll go through my predicted 11 in a few moments, my score predictions and all that stuff. There's another preview that we filmed earlier on today. From a Wolves perspective, we were joined by Dave from Talking Wolves, and that video will be going out tomorrow. It'll give us a Wolves perspective on what they're expecting from the game, and of course if they're going to get the 3 points at Anfield or not. We are 64 games unbeaten in the Premier League at Anfield, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully on Sunday we can make that 65. But look, hello to everybody that's in the chat that's joining me tonight. I really appreciate you all giving up your time as always. The good news, and I do like to start with a little bit of good news, is that Jurgen Klopp's pre-match press conference today let us know that Trent Alexander-Arnold is back in training, and it's looked like Naby Keita could be back and ready to take some part against Wolves as well. The gaffer also went on to praise Nuno and the great job he's been doing at Wolves, and he also vowed to continue to fight for and speak up for the major clubs to have 5 subs in the Premier League. So that's pretty much the long and short of what Klopp was said in his pre-match press conference. There's a lot more stuff around Gary Neville and yada yada, but you don't want me to get into that, folks. That's pretty boring stuff. I've got loads of transfer news to get through tonight as well, and as I said, I will be doing my preview section a little bit later on where I go through my predicted 11 score predictions and all that kind of stuff. But look, let's have a little chat with everyone in the chat, see how we're all feeling tonight. Danny Dog, how are you, sir? Welcome in. Hassan, Angela, lovely to see you all in. Killian as well. Barry, Ushin, lots of people in the chat. Look, guys, anything you want to bring up, you want me to start off with tonight or whatever, let me know as always, and I'll do my best to get through it. I can't start off any video though without giving a massive shout out to our brilliant sponsors, Boyle Sports. Boyle Sports have been backing us all the way this season, and that's going to continue on right through to the end of the season. There are some fantastic sign-up offers available on Boyle Sports. Any deposit that you make, they will give you a free bet with that. There is a link in the description to go over and sign up. These free bets vary depending on regions and stuff, but for UK and Irish residents, of course, age 18 plus, go over and check out Boyle Sports, link in the description. You know what's up, folks. If you're going to have a little flutter, stay loyal. You know what I mean? Stay with the people that are back in the Reds. Hello Fran, how are you, buddy? Lovely to see you in as well. Craig, I hear the news that Liverpool are selling Origi and getting Giroud on a 1-year deal. Any updates? I have absolutely not heard anything about that, mate, and I would be astonished if Chelsea were going to let us have Giroud, mate. So the Origi stuff, I'm happy to touch on that later on. I did say to you before that I think January may see Shaqiri and Origi looking to engineer some moves away. Joe, I'm really good. Joe Harvey, mate, thank you for asking. Favourite YouTuber? I waited half an hour for this to start, said LFC News. Mate, that's lovely. Thank you. Really appreciate you being here. Joanne's in the house as well. Joanne Fisher, how are you, my friend? Lovely to see you. Please can I start with the Wolves preview? No problem whatsoever, Danny Dog. Let me just switch scenes and we'll get stuck into that one. So right, we'll switch over to the Wolves section of the stream. Look, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome. No, we're going to start that one again, so we'll give Connor a little cut point. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wolves preview section of this video. Again, I want to talk about the Gaffer's pre-match press conference today where he let us know that Trent Alexander-Arnold will be back training, and he is training because those pictures have been out. Naby Keita as well. We also seen some brilliant news today that's seen pictures of Virgil van Dijk at the new AXA training facility starting his long road to rehab. But how amazing was it just to see Big Virg walking around in there as well. Lots of other players pictured and photographed today. Hendo was out training, which is good news because the gaffer was saying that himself and Robbo were both playing through the pain barrier previously. So again, great to see Hendo and Robbo out on the training pitch, and fingers crossed we'll be able to put out a pretty damn strong side at the weekend. A lot of questions, of course, ranging around how long Ali will be out for, who's going to start and go. Will it be Creevy and Kelleher? Will it be Adrian? Obviously, I have my take on this, and I'm sure you guys will as well. But look, we can't mention Wolves without, of course, giving our best wishes again to Raul Jimenez in his bid to get back playing football as soon as possible after that fractured skull. That was a very, very nasty incident, of course, with David Luiz. And I hope that this brings to the fore the need for concussion substitutions to allow doctors and medical professionals more time to assess these players, because the first priority has to be, of course, the player safety. Looking for Wolves Wolves' perspective, as I said, Raul Jimenez won't be available for this one. Traore probably get the nod. Look, Dave, in the preview that we did with the Wolves fan earlier on today, watch that video. He'll take you through Wolves' side in far more detail than I'll be able to. But look, ladies and gentlemen, let's start off, say, with my prediction for the game. So what score prediction am I going to go for? There you go, right there. I'm back in a home win. You wouldn't expect anything less from me, would you? But I don't think it's going to be an easy afternoon, or an easy evening, I should say. Playing Wolves are difficult at the best of times. Interestingly, speaking to Dave from Talking Wolves earlier on, he was saying that Wolves have switched to a back four for the last game recently, and I wonder, will they stick with that back four, or will they go with those 3 centre backs and 2 wing backs that we often see Nuno go with? Obviously, Prudence and Neto, 2 players to look out from their point of view, and young Silva, the 18-year-old that they brought in from Portugal for a very hefty price tag. He'll probably be leading the line for Wolves on Sunday again, so lots of questions to be asked. But look, ladies and gentlemen, let me take you through my predicted 11 for this game, and of course we'll have a chat around it, see what you guys think. But this is the 11 that I think should, maybe could, take the pitch on the weekend to take on Wolves. Alright, here we go. Where is it? There we go. Right, so Caoimhín Kelleher, I think, deserves to keep his place in goal, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure a lot of you would agree with me. At right back, obviously Trent is going to come back in. He is training, he is available. We don't need to worry about the Midtjylland game coming up, of course, on Tuesday, because that's pretty much a dead rubber. So Trent coming in at right back, Andy Robertson to come in at left back for me. Keep the central defensive pairing of Joe Matip and Fabinho. Then it comes to midfield, and this is where it got a little bit difficult for me, because I asked myself, do I bring in Naby Keita straight away? And I've erred on the side of caution, I should say. So I've gone for Jordan Henderson to anchor that midfield, Gini Wijnaldum, and Curtis Jones. Why not? I know we could absolutely go with the full attacking quartet of Firmino, Salah, Mane and Jota, but I like to give one of them a rest where possible. So I'm going to give Curtis Jones the nod for this one. Very impressed with the young man in his recent performances. So midfield of Hendo, Gini and Curtis Jones. And then you know what? This is going to shock you, but I'm actually going to give Diogo Jota a rest. So I'm going to start Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino and Mohamed Salah for this game. No other reason other than to give Diogo a rest. I mean, a lot of games coming up thick and fast. Again, he could be a great impact player to bring off the bench if the result isn't going our way. So look, ladies and gentlemen, that's the 11 that I think, and again, just to put back up my predicted score, that's the 11 that I think will take the field at the weekend. We will see Klopp start to rotate and rest the attacking quartet because of the amount of games that we have coming in. But thankfully, with Milner back on the road to recovery, with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain back on the road to recovery, I think we're finally going to start getting some bodies back fit. And of course, Thiago, hopefully, let's just say the other side of Christmas to err on the side of safety here. But that's what I think. I know a lot of people are going to have different variations. Or Shaqiri, by the way, is back doing some training as well. Not full training with the rest of the squad, but he is stepping up his rehab. So that's what I think, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, I'd love to know what you guys think. If you're watching this back later on, or you're watching this as a clip, please let me know your thoughts on the 11. Score prediction as well, 2-1 win for me for the Reds. I'd love us to keep a clean sheet at home. I'd rather take a 1-0 than a 2-1, but Wolves are a very difficult side at the best of times, and they're coming off a good result recently as well. So yeah, look, I back us to keep the run going, making it 65 in a row, unbeaten at Anfield in the league, which is quite simply a phenomenal record. Another important factor, I suppose, that we have to talk about around this game, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that there will be 2,000 fans inside Anfield. How amazing is that? Again, I think they're going to be in the Kop end and the main stand. I think the majority of the fans are going to be in the Kop. Brilliant to have fans back inside. I know the players have been talking about how great it is for them as well. And hopefully this is the first step on the road to reintroducing fans in a major way back into sporting events, concerts, whatever it might be. And we get back to some normality. But look, I'm buzzing about this because December's a really busy month. The games are going to come thick and fast. Thankfully, we have topped our Champions League group, so we don't need to worry about the game against Midtjylland. I'm expecting a pretty young, inexperienced side to go over there. So again, that's my thoughts for this game. A 2-1 win for the Reds. A very hard-fought victory. I love the Sunday night kickoff time, by the way, of 7:15. So long may that last. And of course, we're going to be starting our watch-along coverage of the game with thanks to our sponsors, Boyle Sports, from 6:45 p.m, 30 minutes before kickoff. Again, just a reminder to people in the UK that this game has been shown on Amazon Prime. If you are in Ireland like myself, you can get the game on Premier Sports, which is part of my BT Sports package. So again, no need to go onto Amazon Prime for that. But if you are in the UK, maybe sign up to Amazon Prime for the free month or something, I don't know, but that's the only way you can get to watch the game, folks. So look, thank you for the preview part of the show. I'd love to know your thoughts. I'm going to switch back over now to our normal studio and see what people have to say. Right, Trent is too early. He'll be playing, trust me. You don't see him that fast. I do. And he will be playing, trust me, mate. Trent will be playing at the weekend. But look, it is all about opinions, mate, and of course I respect yours. Go on, King Curtis, said Fran. Jones is great, said Neil Davies. I think Jota will be chewing glass if he's not in the starting lineup. We're going to have to rotate them. We can't play everybody every week. And look, it could be Salah that gets a rest. It could be Firmino that gets a rest, although he's had his. So just my take on it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't expect everyone to agree with me, of course, but that's what I think. I think Neko for Trent, said Chimnoy. Trent wasn't out that long. It's important to remember. Excuse me, I had an itchy nose there. Trent hasn't been out that long. It is important to remember that. What are we talking here? 2-3 weeks, something like that. Yeah, what was it, 4 weeks, 2 after the international break. And he's a fit young man, so I think a couple of sessions under his belt and Trent will be playing. I really do. He's so important to not only our attack but our defensive structure. And yes, Nico Williams put in a very good shift against Ajax, and if he does start, no problems whatsoever. I wish the young lad the best, and I'm sure he'll put in a good spin. But this is a fairly big game, folks, and I think if Klopp gets any chance to get Trent on there, I think he will go with Trent. But I suppose Sunday will let us know, won't it? Can't wait to see fans in Anfield, said Danny Dog. It's going to be class, mate, isn't it? I've seen a few of the lads earlier on Twitter had managed to get tickets for the game, and if you're going to it, enjoy it, scream your lungs out, cheer the lads on, and just great to have fans back in stadiums. How am I on this fine day, said Mustafa. I'm brilliant, thank you, mate. Really, really good. The good news just keeps on coming for Anfield agenda, by the way, and I'm so happy about life at the minute. But letting you guys know what's coming up, by the way. I did film an interview yesterday, as I said, with Ian Brewster, who is the father of Rian Brewster. Connor is busy editing that video now to make it fit for your viewing pleasure, and that's going to be coming out hopefully. I think Tuesday is the scheduled day for us to put that interview with Ian out. It was fantastic to chat to Ian about Rian's career, about when did they spot he was such a good young talent, how did they nurture that talent, what it was like for a parent to see their kid walking out on the pitch at Anfield, all that kind of stuff. It was an absolute pleasure to talk to Ian, so I hope you guys enjoy that one when it comes out as well. I think Neko for Trent, said Chimney. I've gone through that one. Katie will come on in the second half. That's what I think as well, Danny Dog. I think we might see Katie get the last 20-25 or something like that, just to get minutes back into his legs and just to make sure he's okay as well. Naby in for Curtis. Again, I would have no options. What's an option? I would have no problems with that. But again, maybe like other people are saying about Trent, when I think that he'll come in, other people think it's too early. I don't know if he'd risk Naby for 90. But again, if Naby does come in, hey, look, I love Naby, so no problems there whatsoever. Do you think it's a disadvantage to teams in Tier 3 and how fans will impact the games? It's a good question, mate. And look, I was fully expecting Liverpool to be in Tier 3 before the new tiering system was announced, because, Liverpool was had a fairly high incidence rate before the lockdown, so it is definitely more beneficial for some teams than others, and I genuinely feel for any club that can't welcome their fans back in at this moment in time, and fingers crossed fans can get back into those. I think it's 10 grounds, if my memory's correct, as soon as possible. Is it an advantage to some over others? Yes, I would probably say it is, mate. And is that an unfair advantage? Well, if there's any advantage, I suppose it is a little bit unfair, isn't it? But I suppose the main thing here is to look at the positives of it, and that is to get fans back inside stadiums. I'm sure that a lot of these football clubs will be running at a loss for these match days, but for them as well, it's just about getting fans back in, showing that they can do it safely, showing that they can adhere to all the social distancing rules and stuff like that as well. So it's a good point, and one that I hadn't really given much thought to be honest, buddy, so thank you for the question. Hi Craig, do you think we should go for a young prospect at centre-back, or a centre-back who is experienced? I would go for the young prospect, personally, mate. Again, I will go through the transfer talk in a few minutes, because I do have a little bit of stuff to talk about tonight. And again, I gave you guys an update, and I'm sure you've seen it on social media as well. Liverpool will have submitted the plans for the redevelopment of the Anfield Road end. That will take the Anfield capacity up to 61,000. It's believed, I think it's going to cost around 40 million to build, and the timescale will be around 18 months. With similar to the main stand, the work being done behind the stand, and then eventually it all joining up right at the end. So again, that's great news to hear as well. Yeah, just positive stuff just keeps on coming for the Reds, doesn't it? And look, I will go through the transfer talk in a couple of minutes, but I just want to go through some more comments because it's my favourite part of the show, is chatting to you guys. Neil Davey said, Adrian should be third choice now. I do not disagree with you, sir. I absolutely agree with what you're saying. Elijah John 5's in the house. Buddy, how are you? WFM. And WFM right back to you as well, Danny Dog. Jake said, Craig, brilliant news that Trent and Keita are back in training. It is, absolutely. Yeah, God, like, it's weird thinking about a right back and then thinking about what attacking impetus he brings to the Liverpool team. And again, Nico did brilliant in the game against Ajax, but you know, Trent is one of the best full-backs in world football, so obviously having him back would be a massive boost for Kloppo and the lads. Thoughts on Chelsea versus Leeds, said Dangerous Gamers. It's going to be a good game. I mean, I'm sure Chelsea and Chelsea fans will not be taking this game for granted, because you're going to have to work your nuts off playing against a Bielsa team, and that Leeds team will make it difficult for Chelsea. So they had a great result in midweek. Chelsea 4-0 away at Sevilla is not to be sniffed at. 4 goals for Olivier Giroud as well, including the perfect hat-trick. Left foot, right foot header. Doesn't get much better than that. So yeah, it'll be an interesting game for sure. I won't be streaming tomorrow, by the way, folks, but there will be a video going out to preview with Dave from Talking Wolves, so keep an eye out for that one. I'm going to treat myself to a day off tomorrow before what's going to be a really busy time for me. On Sunday, I'm doing the Nothing But Reds YouTube channel, so I'm doing that on 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, and then I'm going to be doing the watch-along, obviously, with Mr. Crosby on Sunday. Yes, you heard me right. I will be joined on commentary by Mr. Conor Crosby for that watch-along of the Wolves game on Sunday, and can't wait, because it's been a while. I haven't seen Conor in ages, so this is going to be good. Right, what else we got? Trent is brilliant, straight back in. It's the Spygate derby, said Mark. Yeah, if I keep forgetting about that whole incident between Bielsa and Lampard, but I'm sure they've put that to bed at this point, to be fair. Mustafa, and this leads me rather nicely into the transfer talk, and thank you for the question, my friend, said, would you rather Konate or Upamecano? Konate has been playing really well. Upamecano, since the rumours have dropped off a bit. Yeah, it's a difficult one, to be fair. And look, let's start off with the news today. Christian Falk of Bild has reported that Liverpool are indeed interested in both Deo Upamecano and Ibrahima Konate of Leipzig. Now, I'm not sure whether that interest is going to be triggered in the January window, or if they'll even follow through fully on that interest, because it's no secret that United are looking at Upamecano, and I suppose many other clubs around Europe, including Bayern Munich, will be looking at Upamecano. Now, from Bayern's point of view, they've always said that it will only be a case of when David Alaba moves on that they would go out and look for a replacement. So let's say David Alaba opens those conversations with Chelsea and things are progressing there, then maybe you'll see Bayern Munich try and come in to get Upamecano. But going back to Mustafa's question, which one would I prefer? From what I've seen, honestly, of the two of them, probably Konate. And I didn't think I'd be saying that. I watch Upamecano, and there's some things that, you know, stand out, obviously. He's a big man, good in the air, very strong. But then there are other parts of his game that I don't think are at the level that we would be required yet. But then again, he is only, 20, 21? I think he's 20 and Konate's 21, or vice versa. And then you have the question of, will Leipzig sell in January, because they could very well still be in Champions League competition. They're in a very tight group there with Manchester United and PSG. They're all locked on 9 points ahead of the last group game. So if they're still in the Champions League, or in the race for the Bundesliga, or looking to get back into the Champions League, will Leipzig want to sell in January? I don't know. But what we do know about Upamecano, and this is common knowledge, is that he has a 40 million quid buyout clause that comes into play in the summer. So, if he doesn't move in January, then the summer will absolutely be full of clubs looking to trigger that clause. I'd love to know what you guys think about the stuff coming from Christian Falk of Bild about Konate and Upamecano. Do you believe in it? Have you seen any prices mentioned? And what do you think of both players? I'm going to move on now to another centre-back, which is Ben White. Graham Potter, the Brighton manager, has been speaking about the interest of Liverpool and other clubs that they have in Ben White. And this is what Mr. Potter had to say. He said he's a level-headed guy and he wants to play football at the very highest level. He gets down with his work. He's totally professional in the summer, despite the noise outside, which you cannot control. He's a smart guy. We'll try to help him enjoy his football, as that's the most important thing. I've massive time for Graham Potter as a manager. I love the way he sets his teams up. I love the way he's bringing through a good crop of young players there with Lamptey and Ben White and lots of others as well. Basuma, another person who'd been linked to Liverpool, of course, as a potential Gini Wijnaldum replacement. But just looking at the Ben White situation, you guys know I've made no secret of the fact that I would love Ben White to come and join Liverpool. He's not the finished article either, but then again, any of these young lads we'd be looking at that are 20, 21 shouldn't be the finished article, because they won't hit their prime till they're 26, 27, 28 as a centre back. So I'd like Ben White or Per Schurz. They are the two that, in my humble opinion, I think Liverpool should be going after to get in. And another name that I've mentioned and I haven't seen really mentioned with regards to Liverpool, but I have now seen mentioned to other Premier League clubs, is Pau Torres, a good centre back in Spain, of Villarreal, who I think should be looked at. He is a little bit lightweight, but again, he can work on that upper body strength. I have a few other players as well that I'm going to talk around in this transfer section, but I want to go into the chat and see how everybody else is feeling. Craig, what about Per Schurz? Said Ken MacDonald. Look, we're interested in Per Schurz. It goes back a long ways. I've told you guys before. He had a trial at Liverpool when he was 18. Liverpool were very impressed with what they saw, but thought that it was best to send him back to Holland to continue on his development. He was with Fortuna Sittard. He was made captain of Fortuna Sittard very early, I think at 17 or 18 years of age. Then, of course, that move to Ajax happened. And there's been a lot of talk in the media about Per Schurz and what it would cost to get him out of Ajax, and it seems that the figure of €30 million is what will be needed to get Mark Overmars, who I think is either the sporting director or very high up in Ajax anyway, to get him to sell. And I'm sure Ten Hag won't want him to go, but again, you can see in the game against Liverpool, the guy does look like a classy defender. I'm still standing over the fact I think he should have been sent off for the challenge on Mane, but again, Per Schurz, Ben White, Pau Torres, to me they're the three that I'd like Liverpool to be looking at. I'm sure we're going to hear names as well that we may not have even thought about, or we may see a signing that we may not have thought about. Another name is Omar Colley. You guys might remember a very, very long time ago, probably the summer window, I spoke about him at Sampdoria. He's going to be available as well, I think for a figure of around just under £11 million. So whether Liverpool think that he's the solution or not, I don't know. And then of course we've got Ozan Kabak from Schalke, who there's going to be loads and loads of stuff about for a couple of reasons. One, because the player wants to move, and two, because Schalke are stuck for a few quid. Expect interest from AC Milan again in Ozan Kabak. They had a bid turned down for him in the summer. I think the fee that would get him, I've heard figures higher than this, but I think something around 18 million would probably be enough to get Ozan Kabak out of Schalke. Schalke, like many other clubs in Europe, have been hard hit by the COVID epidemic, and of course the finances have been hit. They're not playing great football at the minute. They sacked their manager, KLOPP'S mate, earlier on in the season, David Wagner. So look, I don't actually know all that much about Ozan Kabak. I've said this a lot of times. I'm starting to watch more and more clips of him. I know some of our subscribers message us on Instagram and on Twitter and say that they really like the guy. The whole spitting incident has me kind of a bit cautious around it, but you know, everybody has one fuck up in their career at some point or in their lives at some point. So yeah, it's a tough one, and there's going to be a lot of options out there. But one thing I will say is, whomever Kloppo decides to go for, he's got my backing, because how could I doubt a recruitment team of Hunter and Fallows and the coaches at Liverpool and their judgment of a footballer, because they've got very few wrong so far. So yeah, there you go. There's two more that I want to talk about, but again, before I do, let me just dip back into the chat and see how everyone's getting on with this. Why not trust in Nat Phillips? He is a good defender that deserves to play at a decent level, but he hasn't got the full repertoire of skills available. He's more of a throwback, old-fashioned defender for me, Nat Phillips. Loves to tackle, throws his body in the way, gets a block, good solid defender. But there are some aspects of his game that I think he's found wanting in. Bristol City were very close to, or I think it was Bristol City, were very close to coming and trying to get him from Liverpool. And thankfully, the club didn't let him go, because, you know, with the injury crisis we have right now, it's great to have Nat Phillips as an option. But I don't know, man, if he's going to be able to cut it long term, if I'm being really honest. Again, I want to talk about a couple of outgoings before I get into talk around two more players. I said this to you loads of times. I said it to you in the summer, and I'm going to repeat it now. And this is not going to... You're not going to like this if you're a Shaqiri fan, but Shaqiri and Origi could be going in January. If the right offers come in, the club will listen to those offers. And I think particularly Origi will want to try and engineer a move to try and get into the Belgium squad for the Euros, and he's not going to get much game time, I would suggest, at Liverpool this season. And yes, there was loyalty shown from Divock, and he was also rewarded with a new contract. So if the right offer comes in, this is just my personal view on this, by the way, and I think that the reason Ryan Brewster was sold, and this is just my take, is because the club couldn't move Origi on. And I think if we had have been able to get 20-25 million in for Origi, we wouldn't have sold Ryan Brewster. I think that the money was on the table there from Sheffield United for Ryan, and we know about the buyback clause that the club have in there for 3 years. So that's my take on it. And look, that's not to be disrespectful to Divock, because he has had some huge moments. I mean, yesterday was 2 years to the day since that magical goal against Everton in the derby right at the end of the game, the 96th minute. And I'll always hold Divock in high esteem, but if he wants to try and get into the Belgium squad, he's going to need to be playing football, and he probably won't be getting too much first team action at Liverpool this season, or at least limited first team action, I'd suggest. So yeah, there you go on that one. Love to know your thoughts on it, by the way. Again, if you're a Shaqiri fan, I'll understand if you don't want to hear what I'm saying there. I absolutely get it, but it is what I'm reading and what I've been told from the few journalists that I've spoken to. Origi's had so many chances, said Neil. It's weird because that Champions League winning campaign, my God, did Divock stand up in the big moments, and heronomics of the highest order from Divock that season. I mean, Newcastle game, the goals against Barcelona, the goal in the final against Spurs. You could pick so many moments, but he hasn't pushed on from that. And I think it's okay to say that, because I believe it's true. And I don't want to say he's looked disinterested when he's been on at times, but it looks like there's just something not right there, and I can't quite put my finger on it. But he seems like a lovely lad as well, Divock. So I don't know. Whatever happens, I always wish everybody the best, no matter where they go. I agree with you there. Origi has gone walkabout. Too much mediation or meditation, I reckon. Shaqiri too injury prone, sadly, said Angela. Yeah, look, Shaqiri, there's no doubt he can have an impact on a game. There's no doubt he has a wonderful left foot. There's no doubt he can put in pinpoint crosses. But he's never fucking available, unfortunately. So many little injuries, knocks and strains, and I'm sure it's as frustrating for Shaqiri as it is for us and for the gaffer, because we've seen the little moments of brilliance that he's capable of. The free kick he scored earlier on in the season, magnificent. And, the cross as well for Gini Wijnaldum in that Champions League game against Barcelona. You can pick a few moments, the goal against United, but again, much like Divock, unfortunately, I think they're becoming few and far between. And in a season where we're already struggling with injuries, I think Shaqiri should be moved on if the right offer comes in. Again, particularly with Harvey Elliott coming back next season as well. Origi should go to Everton and stink out their team, said Neil Davies. Origi needs to go, said Eugene. Fair play for all he's done, but the team, we've evolved on from him. Interesting point, that, Eugene, and I had a similar thought process around Adam Lallana. Remember when Kloppo came in, Firmino and Lallana were so important to everything that we did. Lallana linked up play well, was very good in the press, some lovely footwork, but I think the team and the level of the team eventually, and of course with Father Time catching up on Adam Lallana as well, and unfortunately a few injuries, we got to the point that you're talking about there, mate, where I think we just bypassed them and the level of the team rose above. And with Diogo Jota coming in, and the standards that have been set now by the quartet, that attacking quartet, it's going to take one hell of an effort to dislodge them. So again, I can see Origi's point in this as well. Thiago has now missed more games of football than Sturridge. Again, Thomas, I don't know, I get where you're coming from on that one, mate, but Thiago is we're only 10 games into a season where Thiago's going to be hopefully a massive part as we move on. The tackle from Richarlison was horrendous, mate, so it's not like he just pulled up with an injury or did something in training or had a muscle injury. He was assaulted on the football pitch. And let's, I don't think we should judge Thiago on this for his injuries, to be fair. Any player could have been out for a long time after that challenge. So, and we have him for 4 years, so hopefully we don't have too many more Thiago injury headaches. Do I think Liverpool will win the Champions League, said Edna. I think we're capable of it, mate, but I think it would take a very bold person to come out and say that the club will go and win the Champions League. What I will say to you is, I do think we're going to win the league. I will go that as far and say that. I do believe we're going to go back-to-back this season. Can I get an amen? Yeah, I think we'll go back-to-back this season, mate. But look, Champions League will be delicious. I hope that we at least get ourselves to the quarter-final and onwards there, because it was strange last year going out against Atleti and then having that little mini tournament at the end of the season there that we weren't involved in. That was so disappointing. But yeah, we will be in the conversation, and I think it'll take a very good team to put Liverpool out in the Champions League. What else is there? Thiago nearly got his leg snapped, said Robert. Yeah, it was a horrendous tackle, mate. Eno, our Darlington fan, how are you, buddy? What is this? Darlow fan back, I hope you're well. I've walked over 15,000 plus steps today at work. Jesus, well done, man. That's probably more than I walk in a year, man. Look at me, like, it doesn't look like a 15,000 step person, but always lovely to see you back in the chat, Eno. I knew I'd get a few amens out of you crazy people. Well, this is why I love our channel so much. You guys get me. You get my sense of humour in that as well. Look, ladies and gentlemen, a little push now, a little bit of paying the bills time. If you want to become a member of Anfield Agenda FC, get the Anfield Agenda logo beside your name appearing in green to me and other members, making it easier to spot your comments. And, of course, use of all those cool custom emojis that you see on the screen there now. But most importantly for me, into our Discord group, which is where we share the secrets of the channel, the transfer tips that we get, the team news before we give it out in public as well, lots of other bits and pieces, and we're looking to bulk up our membership as well by adding a few more little incentives there for you guys. If you want to become a member of Anfield Agenda FC, please click that join button. It is $4.99 a month for our membership, but you do get all those little perks that we spoke about earlier on. Making a quartet is the best solution for Kloppo to all the questions as to who should be dropped. I get that, but again, we do need to rest them. So the point of bringing in somebody like Diogo Jota was that we were able to rest one of Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah or Roberto Firmino. But there will be times, I'm sure we're all four will take to the pitch, particularly if it's a Champions League knockout game. Don't you think Klopp should bring... What, mate? You've missed the last part. It's disgusting to think that Richarlison's still playing with Thiago's out injured. I know. And of course... Pickford is still playing as well when, you know, Big Verge is out doing rehab. And again, great to see him in the AXA training facility today, getting that rehab underway. And look, don't expect him to be back soon, folks. You know, it's great to see him doing these things. It's great to see him walking around again, but, you know, baby steps and all that. The Nishi said, Craig, when do you think Klopp will start to take the FA Cup and Carabao Cup seriously? Or do you think we will never prioritise them? A lot of it, I think, isn't to do with the fact that he doesn't like the competitions. I think, remember, Klopp's coming from a country where there's only one domestic cup competition there in Germany, and that's similar to other leagues around Europe. There's also talk that UEFA are looking at revamping the Champions League to something that's called the Swiss model that will see clubs pay, I think, 10 other teams home and away in the Champions League. Again, the further details on this will be coming out and are available if you want to search them. So the talk about that is that people participating in that may actually have to forfeit, or they might try and get rid of the League Cup. So I hope that doesn't happen personally, because I'm quite fond of the League Cup. The FA Cup thing with Kloppo, I think it's just down to fixture congestion and seeing it as a way to give the youngsters a chance. I believe that he always tries to put out a team he thinks can get the win. The only real thing that stands out in my mind was the Aston Villa scenario where we were over the Club World Cup and we had to play the kids. I don't think that was Klopp treating the competition with disdain or anything. I think it was just circumstances beyond our control. I would like all the players to finish their career at Liverpool with that full set of medals. So I'd like to see the lads pick up an FA Cup or a League Cup medal. But I suppose the two big trophies really are the Premier League and the Champions League. But I do get where everybody comes from. There are only so many competitions you can enter each season and win. So I'd like to see us try and go as far as possible in the FA Cup this year. Obviously we got drawn against Villa away, which bring back horrible memories for all of us Liverpool fans. Don't even mention the number 7 to me. But, you know, let's hope we can go there and get the job done. Yes, Alisson is injured, Michael. He will be out for roughly another 10 days or so, maybe a little bit longer. So expect Caoimhín Kelleher or Adrian in goal on Sunday. I'm hoping it's Caoimhín. Right, a couple more things on the transfer front, as I said to you. So, a publication in Spain, I think it might be AS, has suggested that Liverpool and Real Madrid are both interested in signing Sevilla's 20-year-old goalkeeper Alfonso Pastor. His contract with Sevilla ends in the summer and he could be available for a very low price in January. Unfortunately for the keeper, he made his competitive debut for Sevilla in the Champions League against Chelsea earlier on in the week and of course conceded 4 goals. But this got me thinking, I mean, should we be looking at this kid? Why not Caoimhín Kelleher? I don't know if there's any truth to these rumours, by the way. I was just reporting what was put in the media. But did make me think, well, you know, what does Caoimhín have to do? If you're looking at that 20-year-old keeper who, you know, had his competitive debut and conceded 4, and I'm not holding that against them, but Caoimhín came in, didn't put a foot wrong, and looked alright to me. So I'm a bit about that rumour. And the last one is the sexy one, ladies and gentlemen. Kylian Mbappe. So a French publication called Le Parisien said that PSG superstar Kylian Mbappe is closing in on making a decision over his future. The outlet claimed that there's 3 choices for the player: sign a new deal at Paris Saint-Germain, join Liverpool, or join Real Madrid. It also goes on to say that he may be offloaded so that PSG can try and bring in Messi, because you've probably seen this week Neymar again talking about the fact he'd love to hook back up with Messi, and what's going on at Barcelona right now is a bit of a shit show. They are having their presidential elections at Barca, I think at the end of January. Expect Victor Font to win that, and as I've told you before, the plan there was always for Victor Font to come in and Xavi to eventually be installed as manager, maybe at the end of the season. But coming back around to the Mbappe thing, I don't think personally he'll sign a new deal at PSG. I think he's looking to angle a way out of there. Real Madrid, can they afford Kylian Mbappe with the current predicament that they're in? I've got no doubt that Zinedine Zidane would love to have him, and that Kylian Mbappe obviously looks up to Zinedine Zidane. But are Liverpool going to be in this conversation? Can we afford a world record transfer fee? Or could we afford a transfer fee even with a year left on his deal of upwards of 100 million? What type of wages would Kylian Mbappe ask for? Could Nike come in and help us out here a little bit? So many things, ladies and gentlemen, but we're allowed to dream. But I don't know. I'm very dubious around the thoughts of Liverpool going out and signing Mbappe. Would I be happy if it happened? Of course I would. But what do you guys think? Do you think there's any way, even with 1 year left on his deal and maybe a bit of a knockdown fee, that Liverpool could afford to bring in Kylian Mbappe? I'd love to hear it if you can find a way, because I'm trying to be positive on this one, but I really can't see it long term, to be honest with you. Klopp Empire, said Christopher Edwards. To be fair, Shaqiri won't do what's this. Does go, we need to spend money to replace him because we've got Harvey Elliott, Origi to replace him. Daka's a great shout, and Daka probably could be gotten out of Salzburg. We've got a good working relationship with Salzburg, obviously, and so yeah, Daka is definitely one, and Szoboszlai as well, another player who's worth keeping an eye on from Salzburg, whose name, you know, I've finally gotten to learn how to pronounce. So again, keep an eye on that situation as well. I'm afraid this is going to be quite a busy January for a lot of clubs. Craig, Klopp has confirmed Kelleher will start between the stick against Wolves. Boom, love it, and rightly so. Real Madrid, I heard, are in financial struggle. Oh, Mustafa, they are up shit creek, buddy, with regards to finances, and I think La Liga are looking at even bringing in a wage cap. So I don't know. And again, they're going to be redeveloping the Bernabeu as well. So where's all this money going to come from? They may not even get out of the Champions League group stages at the minute. They have a fairly big set of aging players there as well at Real Madrid. So I don't know. I've seen another rumour that might see a potential swap deal for Neymar. Was it Neymar or Mbappe? Was Neymar or Mbappe for Hazard, which doesn't make any sense to me. I think it was actually Mbappe. And I thought about it, why would PSG want to bring in an aging player who's had injury troubles this season to get rid of a 21, 22-year-old superstar? I don't know, but there you go. What else is there? Mbappe misses a lot of chances, is all I'll say. But again, Koba, he may do, but he's still a very young man. So it's important to put age into perspective when we're talking about players as well. He probably, as mad as this sounds, he probably isn't the finished article yet. There's probably still some more top level coaching that Kloppo and Pep Linders and the lads could do for him. So probably still more to come even. VVD coming back to training. Again, be careful, Nicola. He is back, but I would call it rehab rather than training. Kelleher has a calming spirit. A lot of people probably don't know this about Queeveen Kelleher, but up until the age of 15, Queeveen played as a striker or a forward for Ringmahon Rangers, which probably gives you a good indication of why he's so good with the ball at both of his feet, because, you know, strikers are usually able to hit it with either foot. So again, that gives you a bit of insight into his background at Ringmahon Rangers, the club in Cork where he was before he went to Liverpool. So and as you said, yes, he was a very calming presence, which was lovely to see. What's the latest on Virgil, said Jim Scouse. Again, just rehab, mate. I wouldn't read anything into it. I wouldn't try and predict that he's ahead of schedule or anything. Just let the man go through his rehab. And I mean, it's beautiful to see him there. It's beautiful to see him up and walking around. And fingers crossed he's back with us as soon as possible. We've done the Canade links. For those coming in late, by the way, we've done the Canade links. We've done the Upamecano links. We've talked about Ben White. We've spoken about Kylian Mbappe. We've spoken about a young goalkeeper from Sevilla. So if you're coming in late, you've missed lots of stuff tonight. Any links to Genie replacements? Whatever happens, I don't think this will be a conversation that needs to be had until the summer, because Kloppo won't be getting rid of Genie Wijnaldum in January. I'll be amazed if he even considers cashing in on him in January. Genie will stay till the end of the season, in my opinion, at the very least, and then we'll reassess the whole situation with potential replacements to Genie. Don't think it'll be in this January window though. Basuma, it has been linked, yes, but again, I wouldn't say it's for January. Haaland is a perfect fit, said Jim Scouse, and look, I fully believe in 2022, which is the time I think Haaland will move, and that's when that €75 million release clause kicks in his contract. I think Liverpool will absolutely be in the conversation for Erling Haaland, and the thoughts of him playing for Liverpool gets me pretty damn excited, folks, I'm not going to lie. Daka was dreaming to play at Anfield apparently. He had 24 goals, 6 assists in 31 matches last season. Yeah, he did speak Mustafa publicly about the fact that growing up and stuff, he always did choose Liverpool and things like that. So, look, Daka's class, Szoboszlai's class, looking a little bit more attacking forward as well. You have the likes of the guy at Leon Houssam-Aouar, and look, I've seen other links today, lazy links as I call them, talking about a swap deal for Dybala for Mohamed Salah, and that's something to me that's just lazy journalism. I can't see anything in that, to be honest. With our analysts and experts in biomechanics, we're probably looking at somebody nobody else is looking at. Could very well be Bernadette. I mean, as I keep pointing out, Fabinho, Diogo Jota, nobody in the media that I read had a sniff about those transfers before they happened. Insert username, said I've seen links to Tielemans, Milinkovic-Savic and Kimmich. The Milinkovic-Savic thing, I can't see, to be honest with you, but I mean, probably a lazy comparison, but we've got Marco Grujic there, who is still a Liverpool player, obviously at Porto at the minute. He could come back. We can't write him out of this conversation either. He could very well have a future at the club. With regards to Tielemans, I'm not sold on Yuri Tielemans. I think he's still not consistent enough for me long term, but you do see flashes of brilliance in the guy, but then, you know, sometimes he frustrates me. And I think there are better options out there than Yuri Tielemans, if I'm being quite frank about it. Ladies and gentlemen, one thing before I go into the last few minutes of the stream. If you are enjoying tonight's stream, please do remember, drop a like on the video, hit that subscribe button. But really, really importantly, Connor's asked me to really push our other two channels. Mundo Sporto was closing in on 2,500 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to our second channel, Mundo Sporto, I did a watch-along of United's game against PSG on that channel. We're going to be doing so much more content on Mundo Sporto as the season goes on. Probably going to be covering the Euros and that on there as well. So make sure to subscribe to our second channel. There is a link in the description. And also a brand new channel called Anfield Agenda Clips, which is closing in on its first 1,000 subscribers. That's basically where Connor takes, let's say tonight's show, which is going to be about 45-50 minutes long, and he'll pull out 2 or 3 little clips from that, 3-4 minute clips, and put them up. So we do always listen to your feedback, and a lot of people suggested that, you know, they haven't got the time for the long shows and can we put out shorter content. So Connor listened, and that's why Anfield Agenda Clips came to be. So again, 2 other channels, Anfield Agenda Clips and Mundo Sporto, both links in the description. Please do go over and subscribe to them. I'd love to hit 2.5k and 1k before the weekend. So again, your support there would be very much appreciated. Spurs Arsenal prediction. A Spurs win. I can't see past the Spurs win. Arsenal just aren't at it at the minute, so I'd go with the Spurs win in that one. What else is there? It would have to be Cork City, somebody else said. Right, ladies and gentlemen, there's not really much more to go through tonight. Again, just filling you in on what's happening for the rest of the week. I won't be here tomorrow. I'm taking the day off. The preview with Dave, the Wolves fan from Talking Wolves, that will go out tomorrow afternoon. We'll also clip up the preview section of this stream tonight with my predicted 11 and stuff, and that will go out. I'll be back on Sunday at 6:45, where I'll be joined by Connor for a watch-along of the Reds game at Anfield against Wolves. Kick-off 7:15. It is on Amazon if you're in the UK. If you're in Ireland, you can get it also on Premier Sport if you have that channel. Lots of other stuff coming up as well. More giveaways coming your way. More free bets with thanks to our sponsors at Boyle Sports as well. So make sure to check out the Anfield Agenda Instagram account, which is usually where we give away the free bets. Anfield Agenda's Instagram account is just at Anfield Agenda. That's closing in on 30,000 followers as well. I cannot thank you crazy bastards enough. And sorry, there's crazy bitches out there as well. Again, I mean that in a loving way. I can't thank you crazy mofos enough for all the amazing support you've given us. You're letting us live our dream. We cannot thank you enough. But don't worry, we will be giving lots back to you guys as well. We're working on a massive giveaway for when we hit 100,000 subscribers. Big giveaway. Trust me, you will not want to miss out on this when it comes around. And we're looking at some other bits and pieces as well. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let you go off and enjoy your weekend. Thank you again to our sponsors, Boyle Sports, without whom we wouldn't be able to continue to bring you guys as much content as we do. But most importantly, we love each and every one of you guys. Stay safe, be well, take care of your families, tell your loved ones that you love them, and up the motherfucking Reds. Love to you all. Have a crack.